So welcome back once again to TNTV, where it's the man's go this week. It's how to make a man feel fantastic. And okay, women, I can hear you saying, why would I want to make him feel fantastic? It makes me feel good. But anyway,
well,
why should they do that?
Maybe if he was watching last week,
yes,
he's learned how to
maybe
romance
something's already
you.
happened.
Things have got a lot better. Yeah. But actually, that's a bit of a clue in the fact that really what you really want to do is home in on what he does that's great. Now, before you start saying, you know, he doesn't do anything I like, you know, if that's really the truth, you know the saying, what are you doing with that man?
Yeah.
But if, you know, what's the real truth? The real truth is it's just some things he does that you don't like, but you're focusing on them instead of focusing on what you really love. So the best thing to do, how to make a man feel fantastic, is not to do stuff to him to get him out of a funk, get him out of a bad mood, but that when he's in a really great space, you actually contribute towards the relationship by, you know, saying things to him mainly. I mean, you know, whilst last week we talked about, you know, the men romancing the woman, taking them somewhere special, looking after them, standing the right side of them on the pavement and all that kind of stuff. See, with a woman, men are so simple, aren't they?
We are simple creatures.
All they want is a little bit of acknowledgement of what they're doing that's working. And so you really got to look up to them and say, you know, I love it when you do that. I think you're amazing the way you handle things. And actually, to, you know, find out, as Tony said last week, which is like, find out what your man really wants.
Yeah,
so what do the men got to do?
Well, this is not about stroking his egos, girls, you know, because a lot of women go, well, why would I do that? You know, but the thing is, you know, if you think about yourself as a woman, how you want to feel good, you know, if you look fantastic and you've put all that effort into making yourself look beautiful, do you want him to tell you? Well, yes is the answer. Now, look, men aren't worried whether he's wearing a great colour shirt. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. But what he does want is for you to tell him how great he is. It's like we always say, you know, could you put him on a pedestal? Well, a lot of women say no. But you see, if you don't put him on the pedestal, the thing is you're going to have the most miserable man on your hands who is never going to change your light bulbs, he's never going to do what he's told, and he's going to be a nightmare to you. So the thing is, you do have a role to play, and if you can, just even if you find... I remember one woman running up to us, we were just about to get a plane, and she fell into a bit of a trap. It was one of my fast coaching traps, where, you know, she said, could you help me? And I'm going, well, we've got to get a plane in a minute, so it's going to have to be seriously fast piece of coaching. So I said, you know, what's the challenge? She said, oh, it's my husband. It's me. I thought, oh, that's unusual.
They always say the same thing.
I said, well, look, before we start, is there anything at all that he does that you really don't like, you know, to the point of actually hating it? And she said, oh yeah, lots.
Yeah, loads.
And then she fell into the trap. So think of this, see if you fall in the trap. Because I said to her, look, have you ever told him what he does that you don't like? And she said, yeah, I tell him all the time. I said, well, that's where you're going wrong. You need to stop telling him, yeah? Because the more you tell him, the more he'll misbehave, do things you don't like, yeah? So I said, you know, can you just go home and do this? This whole coaching session's taken this 2 minutes. Could you go home and find something, just something that's great about him? And she was really struggling. She's like scratching her head going, well, I can't really think of anything. You know, so I said, what does he do? She said, well, he goes down the pub every night. So I said, supposing he came home early, could you just tell him how fantastic it is that he's come home to spend a bit of time with you? Do you think that would make a bit of a difference? She thought, well, I've never thought of that. You know, she's too busy telling him off for not being home on time. Well, anyway, we got an email from her weeks later going, that is like magic.
Amazing.
That is like magic. He's a changed man. So just think about that. It's not that difficult to make a man happy.
Yeah, so remember what we said. Men are really simple creatures. So all you got to do is find something they're doing. So if it is standing the other side of you on the on the pavement, or helping, you know, holding your hand while you cross the road, you really want to go, you know what? That feels lovely. It feels lovely to be looked after, things like that. And also you need to find out what your man needs, what your man really likes. So we give you a quick example. We talked last week about, you know, I love to be all cuddled up in a blanket and watch a really great film, and, you know, have like a nice hot drink and all that kind of stuff. What Tony loves is to watch a real man's film. And here's the secret: what most men love, all men I think, is they like a bit of peace and quiet. Right?
They do.
So what they want...
We've done this at our events once, where the girls all got together and said, look, what is it men really, really love? So what they did, they surprised all the men. There was like, I don't know, 10 men and 10 women or something like that.
Brilliant.
So what they did is they set up our lounge. We've got a beautiful lounge here with a big screen where we show movies, and they cooked us a meal. They actually did us burgers and chips. It's not the normal food that we eat at the retreat here in Austria, but anyway, it's what men wanted, something simple. Anyway, they got the whole lounge laid out. They've got the men each got their feet up,
settee to themselves,
and they put Top Gun on. And I'll tell you what, and then they shut up and went outside, and the men, it was like they so loved it. Hour and a half of a great man movie, some food they wanted. They just said to the women, that's like the best night we've had in yonks.
That's
so
right.
There you go.
And
very easy.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things. Like Tony loves a foot massage. It's even thinking about it now.
Yeah.
Just so find out what your man really wants. Now, if you're a single woman and you're just thinking about being on a date, that's when you're starting to find out. What is he really like?
Questions,
Ask him, we call it the 5 A's. Really acknowledge, appreciate, and adore him, and admire him for what he does great. Ask him questions about his business or his job and everything. Men absolutely love it.
He will grow stronger. I feel good. And of course, what does he do? Moves towards his woman, tries to meet all her needs, as we told you last week. It's like magic and automatic. Now, obviously, we've given you the 5-minute version there. And if you really, really want to learn some of these tools and strategies to get the result you want as an individual, if you're a single guy and you're going, what most men do is they try and do things for women that men like or they like. Well, that doesn't work. So, learning all these things is amazing. And for women, if you really learn man language, learn what they want and meet those needs, that's how the magic starts. So we have got, I know we go on about it. If you watch us every week, get on there. And if you're not on that home study course and you're not getting it right, then you've got no one else to blame but yourself, because actually it's all about information, educate yourself, and you will get different results. So get on that home study course page, have a little look at it, and you'll see magic and miracles will come from watching it for the very first time. You'll be going, oh my gosh, I never knew that. And once you know it, what did we say last week? You can't unknow it. So magic will happen to you when you get this information.
Yeah, and this month it's all about romance. It's about how to make a man feel fantastic, and just like what are those core needs that we've been talking about today? What's the core needs of a man, and what do men and women really want? So get on there.
So instead of going down the divorce court and getting it sorted out, get on relationships.tv, intimaterelationship.tv, because it's £29 a month. How much is a divorce going to cost you when it doesn't all work out? Well, certainly a lot more than that. And so until next week, we'll be back with some more top tips. We'll see you then.
Bye.